Thanks a lot. So welcome once again to Friday evening happy hour of coaching session. And today I thought I will take up a topic on which I have already delivered a webinar. On emotional intelligence and psychological safety. If you look at my channel, there's already a webinar which I had delivered, but this is a slightly different webinar which I'm going to take. I'm going to talk about some real experiences of emotional intelligence, what I have experienced in my work life. Mostly I've restricted it to my work life and my professional life. And some of these incidents, I did not even know the term emotional intelligence at that point in time. Later on in retrospective, I realized, oh, it is actually emotional intelligence, what I had or what I did not have at that particular point in time. Okay, so let me do a quick check here. How many of you know what is emotional intelligence all about or have heard about it? You can also speak. This is probably the only webinar where you are also free to unmute yourself and talk. So you can feel free to unmute yourself and let me know if you have heard this term emotional intelligence or you are aware about this term emotional intelligence. Any one of you? Or you can also put it in a chat if you're not comfortable to unmute, but I would prefer if you can unmute and at least give me a confirmation whether you have heard this term emotional intelligence. Yes, no. If you can just let me know. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Just wanted to quickly check it once again. Yeah, anyone wants to go? What is emotional intelligence, or if you have heard about it, or it is okay. Even if you're hearing it for the first time, it is absolutely fine. You can just let me know that you're hearing this for the first time.
Heard about it, Ashutosh, but did not explore it in depth.
Okay, you have heard about it, but you have not explored it in depth. Perfect. And there are a lot of misconceptions around this term. Okay, what is emotional intelligence? I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about IQ, right? Intelligence quotient. And I remember in my childhood, I was asked to give this test, IQ test. Okay, so basically, what is IQ test is which will tell you how intelligent you are, right? But emotional intelligence is beyond this IQ, right? Worldwide, they have done a study and they have found out that even though you have a good IQ, that necessarily does not mean that you will be successful in your work life. Okay, so emotional intelligence, as I said, there are a lot of misconceptions. One misconception which I've heard about emotional intelligence is that if I'm an emotionally intelligent person, I will never cry in life or I will never laugh in life. No, that is not correct. Okay, in fact, today only I shot a video and put it on my YouTube channel that you could even be excited, and in that zeal of excitement, you could do something which could create problem. And an example I gave was of Saurav Ganguly winning that NatWest match. You remember, right? I'm not going into the details of that incident, but the way Saurav Ganguly reacted when India won that almost impossible cricket match with England in the NatWest series, right? I mean, that is what is emotional intelligence all about, right? So coming to the definition of emotional intelligence, but before that, about me, Ashutosh Bhattodekar here, based out of Pune. I have around 25 years of experience in coaching, consulting, helping organizations in their transformation journey. I also love to read, especially about topics related to psychological safety and emotional intelligence. I consider myself to be more of a coaching partner where we explore together what are the problems being faced and how do we resolve it. That is how I would like to describe myself. Many of you are already connected with me on LinkedIn, but in case you are not connected with me on LinkedIn, feel free to scan the code and connect with me. I'll be more than happy to take this journey forward. YouTube, also I have a channel which has got almost now 145 plus videos on various topics. So if you're not subscribed, I would request you to subscribe to this channel. For those of you who are in Pune, tomorrow morning also I'm speaking at the PMI chapter meet, PMI Pune Deccan chapter meet. I have a session at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is specifically contextualized to Pune audience, MCCI auditorium on SB Road. Feel free to meet me in person tomorrow. I'll be glad to meet many of you in person because it's after a long time I'm delivering a actual talk in Pune. I have started delivering talks, but probably this will be my first talk in Pune tomorrow after the pandemic. Okay, so that's enough about me, and let us get deep dive into the topic. What is there? What is emotional intelligence all about? So emotional intelligence, the classic definition of emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions. That is very important. It is understand and manage. It is not eliminate. So as I said, right, many people mistake that emotional intelligence means I will be a very serious person who will not even be excited when, let's say, India wins a World Cup, or who won't be sad when something wrong happens in my family. No, it is about your ability to manage your emotions as well as recognize the emotions of others around you. It's how, as a leader, you understand why your team member is reacting in a particular way. Why did this team member talk in this way? What is the underlying current for it? Many times we don't go into the go deep, right? We just restrict ourselves to a surface thing that, oh, this person told me like this, I felt insulted. But what is that emotion behind it? What made this person talk in that tenor or in that tonnage, right? That is something what is emotional intelligence, which you have to go deep dive. It's a term which was coined by John Mayer and Peter Salovey, but it was more popularized by Daniel Goleman, who has written a masterpiece on emotional intelligence. Again, I'm not going into the model of emotional intelligence. The purpose of this session is not that, but I've already covered what is emotional intelligence in one of the webinars. I'm just doing a quick recap just to make sure that everyone is on the same page when we go into a workbook exercise, which we all will try to do it. Okay. So it is about self-awareness, why I'm reacting in a particular way. Many times, you know what, I get a feedback in my appraisal meeting that, you know what, Ashutosh, you become very tensed when a client email comes. And I say, no, but when did this happen? I never thought that this is the case, right? I mean, I never experienced this. So I'm not even aware about this problem. Someone else, like a 360-degree feedback or a skip level meeting gives me that feedback. So that self-awareness is missing. Until and unless I'm self-aware, I will not manage. I'll not be able to do self-management. For example, I might get highly stressed when I get an escalation mail. But then it is all about managing the emotions. How do I handle myself well? Or let me take another example. And this is where the reality starts. And that's the reason why I'm not recording the session. So one of my ex-managers, whenever an escalation mail used to come, right, he used to come out of the room and start shouting at the team. And without even realizing what that issue is the problem really an escalation, or is it a change request, or is it something to do with more at a problem at their side, and unnecessarily the blame has been deflected on our team. So this person used to literally shout loudly, right, and scream at team members. So definitely he was not aware. As I said, someone made him aware about this situation, and then he was able to manage it. So only when you're aware about it, you will be able to manage that situation in a better way, right? And this applies to both the situations. For example, if someone would have told Saurav Ganguly that you should not have done this on that NatWest series win, right? You should have handled your emotions in a much better way, right? In a much more dignified way. I think things would have been different, right? I mean, he could have handled that in a different way, right? That is self-management all about. Social awareness. Why are people reacting in a particular way? Why do they behave in a particular manner, right? What is the reason for them to react in a particular situation? That is your ability to understand the social awareness angle. And there are a lot of cultural dimensions to it. There are a lot of finer nuances to it. Language also comes into it, right? Why do people react or speak in a particular language? So that is social awareness, which basically it will help you to manage the relationship. So if you look at the pillars, one is within myself, something which is in my control, which is intrapersonal. The second one is interpersonal, what is there. Okay, so those are the two dimensions of emotional intelligence which are there. If I manage the first tower, which is intrapersonal, I will be able to get a better performance about myself. And if I manage the second tower, I'll be able to get better outcomes from my people. I'll be able to handle my people in a much better way from the second tower, what is there. As I said, this is a new term, came in 90s. Until now, we were only aware about IQ. But as I said, right, there was a very interesting study which was done. And it was found that IQ contributes to only 20% of the factors which determine your success. Okay, and we all have been told in the childhood, right? Take an IQ test. It will tell me whether I'm eligible, whether I'm actually an IIT specimen or not, right? Or whether I will be successful in life or not based on my IQ. But unfortunately, that only covers 20%. The real success, whether you are a good leader or a mediocre leader, is coming out from an emotional intelligence test, or they also call it as emotional quotient. How strong is your emotional quotient? How are you dealing with your team? Are you an individual person, or are you a team player? That is what EQ helps you decide that. And of course, there are a lot of measurement tools available. I'm not going into the details of those tools, but there are a lot of assessments available. In fact, for leadership level positions, many organizations ask you to do a EQ test. They will expect you to conduct a EQ test, and based on the results, they will share a detailed feedback with you that, okay, in fact, that could be one of the criteria for deciding whether you should be selected or you should not be selected for a position. So that's about the measurement piece. And some critical benefits are better decision making, understanding people, higher influence across even if people are not reporting to you. I think as coaches and scrum masters, we need to influence our team, right? They may not be directly reporting to you, but you need to influence them. You need to have an ability to make sure that they're self-motivated, self-organized, and they, at the end of the day, do the work what they are supposed to do. So that's the theoretical angle of emotional intelligence. Now we are going to do something very, very interesting. We are going to take some real-time scenarios, and I would like you to work on those scenarios. Okay, these scenarios are coming from my professional life. Just wanted to make a disclaimer here. The names have been changed, okay, for obvious reason, but these are real scenarios which I've experienced in my work life as a team member, as a manager, as a coach. These are the examples which I'm sharing. Obviously, I'm not disclosing the names of the organization, names of the people. The intent is to make sure that we understand how we make a mistake of being emotionally unintelligent when we are handling daily work to work situations. Okay. I also would like to tell here that the pictures, what you see, there's nothing to do with colors there. Okay. Just setting some rules here so that tomorrow I don't, I'm very clear about it. And obviously the intent is not to damage any personal reputation of the people involved. And you'll see even, by the way, in some cases, I have been in those scenarios. You will see I have been on that wrong side of emotional intelligence. Many of those we'll be covering 3 to 4 scenarios where you'll see that, and I am telling you from my experience that it is me who's on the wrong side of the emotional intelligence. Okay, so let us deep dive into the first case study. And I would also expect you to contribute. I'll tell you where exactly you have to record your responses. Let me first explain this case study. So this is a team of people, okay, which was working in a project. There are 2 characters which we will talk about in this case study. There's a junior developer, Ash, who typically goes for lunch between 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. And there is a senior team member in the team who's a technical, I would say, techie person. His name is Raj. Okay. And he's a senior team member. Raj is known to be a problem solver, a very, very extrovert personality, very helpful personality. So the team knows that if there's a problem anyone is facing, Raj is the go-to person to be. And there's something interesting about Raj, okay, that he goes for lunch a little early at around 12:30, and he doesn't go out for lunch with this team. Okay, there is this ex-project team with whom Raj goes out for lunch. Okay, so I hope the situation is clear. Okay, I hope the background is clear to everyone. What is the background, what I have tried to depict here. Now, what happened was, the name of this story is A Party Missed. Okay, that is the name of this story, and it's a real story. All stories I'm going to talk about today are real, which I have experienced. So Ash was given a task on a Monday morning, and he was supposed to complete it by Friday of that week. So it was a 1-week task. And Ash, being a junior developer, was really struggling to understand how he should go about it. Okay, and this was a kind of a burning problem which was faced by the client, and this solution had to be out by this Friday. Okay, Ash tried very hard. Starting on a Monday morning, he tried very hard. Okay, finally he got very, very frustrated on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock. He said, I'm going to give only 2 hours to me. If I don't get it in 2 hours, I need help. Okay, and he did that actually. Okay, so what happened accidentally was that at 12:20 p.m., Ash actually reached out to Raj. And he said, you know what, Raj, this is a problem I'm facing, and I've been struggling for 2.5 days. I'm still not able to crack this problem. Can you help me? And Raj says, yes, he's a problem solver, helpful personality, right? Raj said, yes, absolutely fine. I can help you. I can work on this. And Ash thought that this will probably take 15 to 20 minutes to solve, because Raj being a techie person, this problem can take 15 to 20 minutes to solve. What happened was the problem was going on. There was a call which Raj got at 12:35, and he said, sorry, I cannot make it today. That is the only thing which Ash could hear. Okay, that I cannot make it for today, right? You please go ahead. Okay, this is what other people heard. Okay, 12:45, there was another call on Raj gets, to which he says, no, I'm stuck in a project issue, cannot make it. That is again the only thing what we hear. Finally, this problem got solved at 3:35 p.m. and Ash is happy and thankful to Raj for the help. And then obviously they had lunch. Okay, so 3:35, even for an experienced person like Raj, it took 3:35 p.m. Fine. Story gets over here? No, the story does not get here. This is where the story starts. After 3 days, Ash comes to know that, you know what, Raj was actually supposed to go for a birthday party for his ex-team member, and that he skipped it. Now tell me that what do you feel about this situation? Okay, what do you think about this situation? And if you want, you can write about this situation on a link which I'm going to share here, and you can write it here. Or what do you think? If you want to unmute yourself and speak, let me know. What do you think about this situation from Ash's perspective? Anyone wants to talk here or speak here? I hope the story is clear to everyone. Anyone wants to talk about this? What is wrong with this story? And what has this to do with emotional intelligence? Can you tell me?
Oh, here the problem is that Ash thinks like Raj was lying to her because he has work, and instead he was going for a birthday party.
No, that is not a problem.
Okay.
That is his personal time. No, I've told you there in this problem statement, right? 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. It is his lunch time. In our team, we don't all go for lunch at the same time. No, that is not a problem here. What do you think? Anyone else? So this has something to do with emotional intelligence of Ash. What do you think? Is Ash having great emotional intelligence or lacking emotional intelligence?
Uh, I think lacking a bit, because when he got to hear twice that he says he cannot make it, he should have at least asked what is it on the other side. He should have at least tried to understand that.
Perfect. Yes. I mean, the deadline was till Friday. Not that the world was going to collapse if they would have sat at a problem at 3:30 or 2:30 when Ash comes from lunch, right? And they could have sat at 3:30 and they could have cracked it in the evening, right? I mean, here the problem is of Ash, and he, by the way, Ash is nothing but Ashutosh here. I am admitting here in a public forum, this is a real-time scenario I faced. I only came to know that this is a problem with emotional intelligence when I learned. See, the problem was that, see, I knew this person's lunch pattern. And I knew that I'm approaching this. First of all, I should not have approached this person at 12:20 p.m. Right? When I know that this person goes out for lunch with this ex-friends, right? Forget the birthday party and all. And that day it was a very special event because one of their team members' birthday party was there, right? And he poorly had to miss it. This shows a lack of emotional intelligence on Ash's side. This is clearly showing that, Ash was acting a little selfish. not little, in fact, very much selfish. And this is where emotional intelligence is lacking in that person. Any other comments, I'll be more than happy to hear from all of you. But this is what displays a lack of emotional intelligence. What is the right ability to understand your own emotions and the emotions of others, right? It's a very, very prized moment, right? When you're spending 1 hour of your work time on lunch with people whom you converse daily, right? People who love to be. And I had no right to interfere. I could have said that, okay, I know you go out for lunch at 12:30 noon daily. So you carry on. Maybe you come back at 1:30, or maybe I will have my lunch at 1:30 to 2:30. I will come back and then I would need your help. I would have negotiated a timeline rather than directly pulling him. And he being that helpful nature personality, he easily agreed to it. Any other thoughts anyone has before we move to the next scenario, or any other interesting observations you want on this story? What is there?
Does Ash know how much time it takes to solve the problem? Ash doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. No, he doesn't know. But he was confident that Raj will solve it. And that time till Friday, no? That time till Friday.
And Raj would have told him, no, we could have done in Thursday. Raj would have asked that question. Can we have?
Go ahead, sorry.
Raj should have asked that question, till what day you have to solve this problem. That didn't come in.
Okay, so Raj should have asked till, but he's a very problem solver and helpful nature, right? He's a person who is helpful.
Yeah, but by when you should solve it? That was the question, right?
No. See one thing, if someone is asking for a help, I should not be appearing, again, that's the other side of emotional intelligence. I should not be giving an impression that I'm not trying to help this personality, right? Again, it depends on the kind of conversation you have, right? It depends on the negotiation you have. So yes, you're saying that Raj should have asked that question, which is fair enough. I mean, I agree with you. Raj should have asked that question, but he's a problem solver. Now, normally when you encounter these people, right, they're very fascinated to solve a challenging problem, right? They get really, they really get engrossed into this, that they even forget to have lunch. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you ask me, the problem is more on the Ash side, because when he fully knows that this person is going to have lunch at 12:30, why trouble him at 12:20, right? I would rather wait for him to come back and then ask him, or request him that, okay, you have lunch and then we will talk about it. I mean, that is what normally we do, right? When we know a pattern of a person, this is what we normally do, and we negotiate that, right? We negotiate a time with that person. Okay, any other thoughts anyone would like to add here before I move to the next case study?
I think even if Raj is a helpful person and Ash came to him to ask, it was just 10 minutes for lunch, Raj could have at least said, can we take it after 10 minutes or after lunchtime? It was just 10 minutes to go, right? So Raj, even though helpful nature, it should not be someone is utilizing my nature. He could have at least started conversation with, okay, can we take it after lunchtime, because it is just 10 minutes for lunch. So that thing Raj could have done.
Could have been, yeah. I mean, that could have been. So probably he also lacked emotional intelligence at that point in time. Could be, yes. I mean, that is, I mean, the way you go to seek, give help to people, probably, yes, that can be. But as I said, right, I mean, his nature is very, very helpful. By the way, these are real people. I don't know if Raj is attending this session. I know last he was not in India, but we are very good friends still, by the way. But this is a real story. I mean, this is the story of my developer days faced by me, which I'm now exposing to the entire world through this platform. Anyways, but I got what you're trying to tell, that even he could have negotiated. He could have said that, okay, let us sit. Can we sit after this? Fair enough. Fair enough. Absolutely right. Okay, I'm taking that point. All right. Let us go to the next. Yeah.
I have a point to make here, because if on Wednesday Ash was already frustrated because no solution was coming, and the fact that he decided to go seek for help is a good thing, but at the same time, from Wednesday 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., we can see that Ash did not even try to seek another solution on its side, meaning that he lacked some sort of, at this time, he lacked some sort of confidence and some sort of
he tried for 2 days, no, and then when he approached the deadline, when he saw the deadline that 2.5 days have gone here, now only 2.5 days are pending, obviously he would need help from someone, right? He definitely tried for 2.5 days.
Okay.
That is how what I'm trying to tell. It is exactly that he worked for 2.5 days. He could not solve the problem. And I mean, then he decided to approach. It was almost a midday, right? A midday of the midweek day, right? And by the way, these are all pre-COVID examples. Okay. So it's not work from home and all that where a person is available even in the night and all. We are talking about a scenario, a pre-COVID world which existed, where it was typically, I mean, office sitting where people were sitting in office, right? Maybe I will take another session like this on COVID examples. I do have a lot of COVID examples on the remote working where there was a lack of emotional intelligence. Okay, let us go to the next scenario. Okay, now this is a little interesting one. So there is Anita, who's a team member. Anita reports to Ash, and Raj is Ash's manager, right? So Raj is a manager, Ash is a team leader, and Anita reports to Ash. Okay, so what happened was Anita is a very hardworking team member. And one day she goes to Ash after lunch and she says that I need an urgent leave. Okay, so she would need an half-a-day leave. And Ash did try to find out the reason, but Anita was unwilling to share that reason. Anita said, no. I mean, it's just like that I want to leave like that, right? I mean, she was evasive when Ash tried to probe further. Why do you suddenly need a leave? Is everything okay? Okay, and by the way, this case went to the HR for counseling. Okay, in the organization where this happened, this case went to HR for counseling for both all the three people actually who are involved in this role play. Okay, then what happened was Ash finally approves the leave, saying that yes, you can take a half-a-day leave. As I said, these are all pre-COVID examples. Okay, where we were in office. And I mean, there's something urgent which has come up at home front. I have to take a leave. Okay, then what happens is after some time, 3 o'clock, Raj was trying to locate Anita. Okay, and he was trying to find out because of some work she had done and he wanted to showcase it to his client, right? And Raj asks Ash about Anita's whereabouts, to which Ash obviously responds saying that Anita has gone out for a half-a-day leave, which he approved. Raj asks Ash, did you ask Anita the reason for this sudden leave? To which Ash says, no, I tried doing it, but she did not give me the reason. Okay. And to which there was a heated argument. Raj literally blasted Ash, saying that henceforth, I want every person who's going for leave to mention the reason. Why are you going for leave? Okay. So what do you think about this situation now? Any comments? Emotional intelligence. That's the topic we are discussing. Can you fit this situation into emotional intelligence? Anyone?
It might happen for any of the team member that something is too personal. Not always everything can be disclosed.
Perfect. Yes, not everything can be disclosed. Why? Leave is my fundamental right. The company has allocated me leave. I am in no position to tell anyone why I am taking the leave. It could be medical reason. It could be personal reason. It could be to pick my daughter or son from school. It could be that just that I'm not feeling well and I feel that if I take rest, I will be much more recharged. So here there was a problem with Raj and Ash. Both of them, as I said, it went to HR for counseling that how can you put such a rule? And if you see the leave application form, there is a reason what you have, but it is, I think, optional in most of the cases. It's my right to decide where. I don't want to tell my team member, right, that I'm going to Kashmir for vacation or I'm going to, let's say, South Korea for vacation. That is entirely my personal space. That is entirely my personal prerogative. Yes, I need to take care of my work. As long as my work is taken care of, as long as my deliverables are taken care of, I'm in a no mood to tell everyone that this is the reason why I'm taking. Many times, and I tell my team members, don't tell me that you're going to dentist for so and so treatment. Did I ask you? Did I ask you that you're going for a root canal treatment? Why are you telling me this? It's not required, right? You want to leave, make sure that your deliverables are done. Okay, you tell me how you're going to manage your deliverables or who will be substituting you for this leave period. That is more than enough for me. I never ask my team members, why are you going in for leave? Okay, that is a wrong question to ask. And especially after this, this scenario, that is definitely a wrong question to ask, that why are you going for leave, right? No, you can't ask why are you going for leave. You can ask, okay, What about your deliverables? How are you going to manage your deliverables? Who's going to handle the deliverables in your absence? Is there, so the app question for Anita would have been, okay, do you have any important meeting where you are supposed to present anything and who's going to present? Or do you think that I should take care of anything? Or what about the deliverable which is happening, right? Which is due on Thursday? That would have been an apt question rather than trying to ask her what is the reason, why do you want to leave, why sudden leave, etc., etc. Right? Yeah, Brijesh, you have a question. You can unmute yourself and speak.
Thanks, Ashutosh ji. There is no such question. But I just wanted to add one of the incident 10 years back when I was.
Oh, acha, I thought you raised the hand, so I thought that is a question. Okay, okay,
No.
okay, okay.
So
Anyone
what
else? Any other comments? Yeah. Anyone else? Any comments? Yeah, Amit, you wanted to speak? Yeah, go ahead,
Ash,
Amit.
Ash, I think the previous person, I missed his name. He had a comment to make.
No, he's on mute. I think he's not speaking. So he said no. Anyways, anyone can unmute now, by the way. By the way, any of you can unmute if you want to speak. Yeah, anyone wants to speak, please unmute and let me know your thoughts. We had one thought from the lady here, but anyone else want?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Brijesh, go ahead.
So I was telling that 10 years back, around 2013-14, I was acting as a PM. And the same situation came in front of me.
Okay.
One of the employee asked me, told me that I want to leave for a day. I just simply asked, like, you city or be out of city, and that became an issue for both of us. Like the discussion went into very hot, and there was a thing like in my mind that why I am asking. I was just asking if any production issue comes, if any such critical thing comes, and that person was the only developer for that particular instance. So I thought I have done mistake, whereas I was very clear, just wanted to understand whether you are with your system, laptop, desktop, whether you can attend a call or not. Such thing to answer, to get all such answers, I just had one question, whether you are in city or out of. That person like became like anything, and I learned a lot from that. And then I both the sides, we both should be able to communicate well in that situation. So that's
Absolutely.
all I just recalled was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in India, and I don't know. I mean, we take these things very casually. I mean, I joined a new project, and the first thing they asked me is that, can I have your WhatsApp number? We'll put you into the project group. I said, no, I don't want to be there. Why do you want me to put there? No. Important project updates will. I said, important project updates cannot be put on WhatsApp. They have to come through a formal email. I will respond on a formal email, right? I mean, we take these things very casually, that we create a project WhatsApp group. The entire communication about the project happens from WhatsApp. I mean, that's something which is very, very strange. Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Hello, sir. So good to see you again. So I was just sharing what Brijesh was mentioning right now. And I think more than emotional intelligence, I mean, there is definitely emotional intelligence at play here. But I think this developer, because he was only one who could fix production issues, he had sort of an ego also around him. That, I am something who is indispensable or something. How dare someone question me? How dare someone think I'm a really important person over here? Okay. And I think that's basically what happened there when Brijesh just asked a question which triggered him and kind of led him to behave in the way he did. So just wanted to draw attention to that part of emotional intelligence as well, self-awareness.
Okay, self-awareness. Okay. Thanks a lot, Vaibhav. Thanks a lot for pitching in. Yeah, I mean, these appear to be very, very small incidents, but they are not small incidents. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, they are very, very, I would say, very, very important. And as I said, this definitely went into the HR business partner. The HR business partner counseled both Raj and Ash, and finally that kind of a edict was withdrawn that, I mean, you should tell where you're going, you should give the phone number. I mean, though these mobile phones were there, but not that, I mean, not that level of digital interaction we had. Obviously, WhatsApp was not there, but I mean, so that's why I named this story as unapproved leave, right? I mean, the leave I mean, in fact, when this lady came back, the manager actually threatened that I'm going to revoke that leave, and that's where this the lady escalated to HR, and then obviously there was a lot of discussion which happened. And yes, but I to a certain extent agree that why should I tell you where I'm going, as I said earlier, right? Whether I'm going to Sri Lanka, whether I'm going to Maldives, whether I'm going to Mauritius, as long as I'm able to have a backup who's going to, and as long as I keep an out of office which tells that okay, who's responsible for what, I think things should be able to be taken ahead, right? I mean, we should be able to sort those things out. All right, let us go to the next scenario. Okay, let's and as I said, if you want to talk, read more about emotional intelligence, I already have a webinar which I have shot earlier, but these all are scenarios talking about those 4 elements of emotional intelligence. Okay, now this is a very interesting one, a stressful marriage, and this is between 2 female employees. Again, I'm not doing any bias here. Okay, but this is again a real scenario what I have experienced, and I had to counsel the manager here. Okay, this is a real scenario. Again, don't ask me the names of the people. So Radhika is a manager, Anita is a team member. Anita was reporting to Radhika. So Anita basically has been an average performer. This has nothing to do with the story, but just a kind of a noise I have put in. So Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock, Anita actually reaches out to a manager, Radhika. Radhika actually, it should be Radhika, not Eliza. So that's a correction needed. Sorry for that. Okay, and what she tells her is that she's getting married next month. Okay, it was I mean, it was suddenly I mean, in India, you know, right? I mean, arranged marriage is also one of the ways in which marriages can be fixed, right? So she tells Radhika that she's getting married next month and that she has found her ideal life partner. Radhika obviously congratulates her and approves her leave for 2 weeks for her marriage. So she says that yes, you can go for leave for marriage. Because you know what, I know how difficult it is, right? So she approves the leave. Okay, so obviously Anita is very happy. But what happens on Friday on that week is that Radhika calls Anita for a quick discussion and informs her that she would be releasing Anita from her project. And obviously Anita is a little frustrated. I mean, she is a little depressed. She asks, what is the reason? I mean, although I've been an average performer, is it related to my performance? And Radhika says, no, it has nothing to do with your performance. Okay, what Radhika tells her is that since Anita, you're going for your marriage, right? And post-marriage, I don't think you'll be able to devote 100% to my project. So that's why I've decided to release you. You can definitely get a good project in this company. There's no dearth of good projects in this company. And basically, you'll have to establish that new relationship. You will have to take care of some things. And obviously, you won't be able to devote 100% for this project. This is what Radhika gives the reasoning. And you should go in for some lightweight project, or maybe you can join the talent acquisition team, or you can join, let us say, the competency building team. You can do trainings for our employees. That on that basis, Radhika informs her. So what do you think about this situation now? What do you think about this situation now? Anyone?
Radhika would have told this later after she's back from vacation. I mean, her 2 weeks vacation. Yeah.
Sorry, come again, Snehal.
Radhika could have told her after her 2 weeks of vacation instead of at the start and putting her into depression.
Perfect. That can be one thing. But first of all, is releasing the right solution here? That is what my question is.
No, we cannot be
No.
judgmental. We cannot be judgmental on the basis of what she'll be doing after marriage.
Exactly. I mean, I might have had bad experience with my marriage. Doesn't mean, right, everyone in this world is going to have a bad experience with marriage or a stressful experience, right? You cannot be judgmental, as you rightly said. You cannot come with preconceived notions. And imagine a lady here going for a marriage leave. You have already put her on a stress. They've already made her more stressful. She has to manage the new relationship. And as I said, this was an arranged marriage. So this was not a love marriage. And that's why I'm bringing the contextualization here from an Indian perspective. This was an arranged marriage. So obviously, she had to take care of her in-laws. She has to take care of the new house, take care of her parents who are also growing old. And here you're reacting in a way. Yes, I mean, so Snehal says that, okay, she could have given it after 2 weeks. No, I would say that she should not even touch this topic, right? She should not even do this. Maybe she can change her responsibilities within a project. See, somehow we get into a comfort zone, right? Into our project. We know what we have been doing for so many days. and suddenly you're putting her on bench, you're releasing her to, let's say, the bench or a wider pool in the organization. This is definitely going to make her more stressful. This is definitely going to make her more tensed, and she will not be able to focus neither on the work front nor on the domestic front, right? So that's the challenge, right? That's again a lack of emotional intelligence, at least from Radhika's side. That is by the way, I'm very happy that none of the names which I picked up are in the audience today. I don't know if they are on LinkedIn Live.
Are you telling us these
But
are real
please
names?
don't take it personal. These names are just there to. No, these are not real names. I told you, right? I have masked those names. The real names, believe me, Weber, even if I meet you, I'm not going to reveal the real names. Okay, whenever we meet in conferences or events. Okay, these are not
So
real
then,
names. These are all masked names.
quite possible those people are here.
Could be, yeah, could be, yeah. They could be attending anywhere in the world. They could be there, yes, and they might catch. That's why I'm not recording this session. For that's precisely the reason why I'm not recording this particular session. Normally, the session gets recorded, anyways. Okay, let us move ahead to the last scenario. And by the way, these are not the only scenarios which we face, right? There are so many other scenarios we face in our work life, in our personal life. We face these scenarios with our friends, with our family members, with our relatives. So many of these scenarios we face. And as I said, right, I mean, it's a learning. It was a learning from me when I went through these scenarios. Okay, the last scenario is very interesting. So we now have a new person introduced as Ebin, who's the client. Okay, now this client is visiting India. Okay, this client is actually visiting India. We used to have these client visits which were there, right? And you know what? The client was very happy with the work this team has done. Okay, so Mr. Ebin is very happy with the team's performance and applauds the entire team for the good work they have done. And the team is naturally thrilled and they want to throw a dinner. Okay, so they decided they will have a party in the upcoming Friday. And the theme decided for party, or the dress code decided for party, is Indian traditional wear. Okay, and Friday evening, everyone is getting ready for the party. And Raj is surprised. Raj is the manager of the team. And Raj is surprised that Ebin comes to the party with business casual attire. He's not wearing Indian traditional wear. And Raj then just requests Radhika and Anita to nudge Ebin that if he can go and buy an Indian tradition, or if they can buy an Indian traditional wear, and ask Ebin to wear that for the party. What do you think about this scenario?
We can decide on anything, but we cannot force anyone to do that.
We cannot force anyone to do that, right? And especially here, it's a little sensitive issue, right? I mean, he's not from India. He might be uncomfortable in those clothes. He might not like it, right? He might say, although now I see a lot of clients when they visit India, they love to wear, and especially in Pune, if you come, right? They will wear that traditional pagdi and they will wear that traditional kurta and all. But yeah, again, this is something which is voluntarily, right? You cannot force people. You cannot force people. And by the way, a similar incident happened during the Festival of Colors, Holi, which led to, I did not put it here purposefully, but there was an incident which had happened for Holi, where it would lead to a very, very nasty situation, right? I mean, team members, in the zeal or passion of playing this Festival of Colors, Holi, they actually asked them people to also play with them, right? And it led to a lot of acrimonious debates, discussions, right? People might take it in another way, right? This is a much toned down incident, what I have put here. But I also remember there was an incident of Holi. It was a working day that day, and these people, the clients had come, and they wanted to include them in the Holi playing, right? And obviously we know, right? It's not something which everyone will like to play Holi. I might like, but you may not like to play Holi, right? So this dress code gone wrong, right? I mean, this is what I have put in here as the key element here, a dress code which has gone wrong. And yes, I mean, you cannot force people to do it, right? I mean, as long as they're enjoying, that should be absolutely fine, right? Any other thoughts on this? Any other, I would say, comments on this particular situation? Anyone?
Yeah. Audible?
Yes, Bridges, go ahead.
So whether anyone from the team, while deciding that we are going to wear Indian traditional dress, whether somebody informed Ebin about this, whether he can enjoy this wear, or what is the benefits of it, or how he can get a new dress code, how he can just wear this and show it to other people when he goes back to his country or his stream, telling that I visited India and I wore this and they liked it a lot. So did we try to
Okay,
initiate this?
interesting observation. Interesting observation. See, that's what I mean. See, whether does that matter? Even if I inform him, he still might not be interested in wearing. He still would be comfortable in his clothes on a Friday evening, right? Friday evening, I love to be in t-shirts and jeans. Okay, so even I, by the way, I'm very stressful for me when there's a traditional day in office on a Friday. I mean, I don't feel like going. And especially we have in India, right? During these festivals and all, they send out an email saying that, okay, you have to wear a traditional dress. And if it is a Friday, even I am a little resentful. I mean, why on a Friday? I mean, all this, right? I mean, I would like to wear jeans and t-shirt, right? But yeah, coming to your point, maybe yes, they could have done that. They could have told him that these are the various Indian dresses, but that was not done. They expected him to, Lateral and Raj requesting later on to nudge Abin. They could have done this earlier. Probably yes. On a Monday itself, they would have said that, okay, we'll take you to an Indian ethnic wear store and you choose what you like. Rather than we telling you, you wear this only, you choose whatever you like. Yes, that could have been done. That could have been a good way to handle this situation. Why not? He might have even liked these. Nowadays we have a lot of these fusion dresses also, right? Which is a mix and match of Indo-Western, right? Again, not promoting any brand here, but my favorite brand of this is Fab India, where you get these dresses, right? Yes, I mean, that could have been a very valid point, Brijesh, very valid point. I mean, did we really invest that time by just, rather than just expecting that he will figure it out? Did we invest that time in making sure that he gets that right choice of selection of the dress for that party which is happening? Any other thoughts? Anyone else?
If I take myself as an example, I go to some other country and someone tells me to come in their traditional wear is something I won't like. So when we decide on something, we should focus on the guest that is coming in our country and what is the background. And if he's my customer and I'm working with, at least for a year, I know him. So I would at least guess about the choices and also thinking about Indian tradition, but the topic should be thought of what to do. Yeah.
Correct. Diversity. I mean, there's a lot of talk on diversity, inclusion, and equity nowadays, right? I mean, leaders are measured by that quotient. Okay, they are measured by that quotient, that how much diverse is your team. Okay, that is the diversity, equity, and inclusion. They call it as diversity, inclusion, and I would say equity. And they are measured by that, right? They are measured by that parameter, what is there. Fair enough. Yeah. So my reason for covering these scenarios was that I'm sure now that you have understood the emotional intelligence through the lenses of real-time scenarios, my small request to all of you will be just try to jot down what scenarios you have faced in your life. And whether you think, did you act in an, you don't have to share it with anyone. This is something for your own reflection. This is something for your own growth as a leader. You don't have to share with me. Otherwise, you will immediately say that, okay, tomorrow someone will call me and say, this is what happened with. No, I'm not looking for that. Okay. But the whole reason for doing this was that try to list down those scenarios in those 4 dimensions of self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. I'm sure those scenarios will help you understand that how you become a better leader, how you improve your performance, how you improve the performance of the team with whom you're working, right? That was the whole intention of bringing out these 4 scenarios. These are not the only 4 scenarios, but I've experienced. There's a very interesting set of scenarios which I've also experienced in COVID-19 in a remote way of working where people were reluctant to come on cameras. Maybe some other day, some other Friday, I might bring out those scenarios and share it with all of you. So on that note, I would just like to end my session with a very interesting experiment which was done in American schools. I don't know how many of you know about this experiment which was done. Now, this experiment was done for school students right from their school to college. The name of this experiment is Power of Delayed Gratification. Has anyone heard about this experiment? Have you heard about this interesting experiment, Power of Delayed Gratification? Okay, so this is a very interesting Yeah. Oh, you have heard about it. Okay. So this is a very interesting example, experiment which they did. Okay. So this is a psychological case study. So what happened was a group of psychologists visited a school, and what they did was in an empty room, they placed candies. Okay. Or marshmallows. Okay. So I was sitting on a chair like this. In front of me, there are candies. Okay, or chocolates, you can say chocolates or marshmallows. Okay, so one by one, each student has to come and sit in that chair. And the experiment was that if you manage to sit on the chair for 15 minutes without picking the chocolate, you will get 2 chocolates or you'll get 2 marshmallows. Okay, so each student was called in. You have to sit for 15 minutes staring at that marshmallow. And you have to wait for 15 minutes. If you can delay your wait for 15 minutes, you will get 2 marshmallows. Any idea how many people would have been successful? How many students would have been successful? Any guesses? These are kids, okay? These are school kids. These are not people like you and me. These are not adult people. These are kids. Any guesses? Okay. The rule was also that if you eat the marshmallow within 15 minutes, you won't get that extra chocolate or extra marshmallow. You lose that. And there's an interesting take on this experiment. Okay, so I'll give you some statistics. Okay, it was found that the longer a kid was able to delay picking up that marshmallow, his or her SAT score was on the higher side. SAT is a scholastic aptitude test in United States of America. Later on, they analyzed these personalities. They were found to be emotionally stronger. Only 30% of the kids 30% of the kids could not resist that temptation. They actually picked up the marshmallow within 15 minutes, and later on they were found to be obese in their adulthood. They actually became obese and they had some serious health problems. Okay, this was an interesting experiment. So this was tried for 165 students. As I said, 30% of the students picked up the marshmallow within 10 minutes. 30% actually picked up within 30 seconds. Okay, so I go into the room, I picked up, and that's it. I'm out of the room. There were 40% who were the middle lot who were there. Okay, so 30% picked up after 10 minutes what was there. This was the important, this was the important crowd which was there. These people were found to be emotionally intelligent, right? They became CEOs of corporations in America. They were found to be much more stable in life vis-a-vis the other people. I mean, this experiment almost went on for 8 years, although it is saying 65 to 69. They had a repeat run in 73 also with those people. So this is the power of emotional intelligence. This is what I wanted to end my session with. So on that note, we come to the end of this session. I think we had a different format for the session today where it was more interactive. So I'm assuming that this format you all liked, but nevertheless, I'd be happy to hear your feedback, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. And this is not a free session. I always say, even it is not free for me, it is not free for you. You have invested the most precious thing what you can have, and that too on a Friday evening, where you could have done something more emotionally engaging for you, right, on a Friday evening. But anyways, thanks for all of you spending your Friday evening time with me. This is the precious investment what you have done. As I said, nothing is free in this world. You have invested 45 minutes to 50 minutes of your precious time with me. So that's the price what you're paying. I hope you have got a roti. Roti is what? Return on time invested, as I said, right? I hope you got a roti. But yeah, before we all go and have roti for our dinner, any thoughts or any feedback or any thing you'd like to share before we finally wrap up this session?
Hi Ashutosh, Bridges this side. Can you just recall the latest example which you thought about the marshmallow? How it is related with the CEO with their thought process or emotional intelligence? Can you please correlate and can you revisit the example?
So
please? Thanks.
basically, I don't look at the face value. I look at the details, right? I mean, there was a marshmallow in front of me, but I delayed picking it up, right? I picked up it at a little delay, right? I don't jump to any conclusion, right? It's not that just because I see a food, even if not, I'm not hungry, I pick it up, right? That is what it is trying to tell here. It has got the health element to it. It has got an emotional element to it. I mean, these people who ate that marshmallow later, right? they were able to fully understand what is it. They were a little composed, they were a little relaxed. That is what it is trying to indicate. Though there have been theories which suggest that this experiment may not, it might be a one-sided analysis. That's a different story to it. But generally speaking, what they say is that if I'm a little composed and if I stay a little calm, and if I can delay that gratification, I know that I'm going to get it, but I'm going to get 2 after 15 minutes. Rather than having 1 now, I'm going to get 2 after 15 minutes. That is the motivation what I'm getting here, right? Rather than eating 1 and then exiting out of that room, I will rather have 2 after 15 minutes. Okay, and then there are a lot of stories around it, but they are not authenticated. That's why I'm not put some. I mean, on Google, what I read was that this was carried out immediately after lunch. So as such, they were not hungry. They were not hungry. They could have easily waited for 15-20 minutes. Yet people decided to pick it up just because it was a marshmallow candy which was there. Okay, so those are some of the additional tidbits around this experiment. That is where it is more related to whether you are able to control your emotions. That is what this experiment was. Yes, Nehal, go ahead.
My question is like 15 years ago when I started as a developer and all, we did not have emotional intelligence and all. But why in this recent 3-4 years, I have heard many a times emotional intelligence, why is it suddenly came up and why it was not 15 years ago at all?
It was there. It was there. So this example, what I gave, scenario 1, it happened in 2003, by the way. This is a 2003 scenario, the one which I told about, scenario 1. The only thing is that we did not know that it is called emotional intelligence. As I said, right? At that point in time, I did not. This is my scenario, by the way. Ash is me here in this scenario. Not this one, sorry. Not this one. The previous one. Okay. This is my scenario. Okay. A party missed. I did not know that it is called emotional intelligence. This term was coined in 90s, but probably we started using it late. But definitely this is a lack of emotional intelligence. So our scenarios, what we faced were emotional intelligent scenarios, or emotional, I would say, incompetent, like displaying emotional incompetency scenarios. Definitely they were there. It's that just that we did not know that it is called emotional intelligence.
Yeah, agreed scenarios and all were there, but then these days if you see PMP, non-PMP videos and all, emotional intelligence, many people are talking about emotional intelligence. So I was just wondering why suddenly it came.
So for that, maybe, yeah, it could be I mean, always there's a new term which comes in the industry, right? I mean, it excites people. I mean, that is how I would put it, that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And as I informed, right, tomorrow morning, I am in the PMI Pune chapter. If anyone is in Pune, do visit me. I'll be more than happy to meet you in person. It's a free event again. It's on PMI Pune Deccan chapter. It's in SB Road, MCCIA Tower A, ground floor. So if you're interested to meet me tomorrow, I'll be more than happy to talk about this. But of course, that is a totally different topic tomorrow morning where I'm speaking. And as I said, excited to be talking in Pune, my hometown, after 3 years. By the way, I've talked in Gurugram, I've talked in Bangalore, Hyderabad, but after pandemic, this is first time I'm talking in Pune. So definitely excited to be in person for this talk. Okay. Any other question? And of course, you can talk on this later on also. I'll be more than happy to connect with each one of you in a person later on also. And you can connect with me, as I said, and once again, sharing my coordinates of LinkedIn and YouTube. Feel free to connect with me. So on that note, I think we are good to close the session. If you are interested, you can come on camera. We can take a nice snap. Again, it's not mandatory. I've just now taught about emotional intelligence, so I want to respect your privacy. It's okay. If you don't want to come on camera, it's not mandatory, but if you're okay, you can come on camera. Thanks, Brijesh. Thanks, Vaibhav. And yeah, I think that's very nice to have all of you and see all of you. And yeah, do take care of health. Again, the COVID cases are increasing in India, so I'm pretty sure all of you are taking care of that. So on that note, I think we are good to sign off for the session. So thanks a lot, and see you all for the next session, right? And we are planning to get more speakers so that you don't get bored only hearing me. So, but thanks a lot, and have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Ashutosh, we won't be bored. Don't worry. You can continue your sessions.
Thank you, Snail. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashutosh. Thank you. Great session.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Ashutosh. Wonderful session.
Thanks.